I'm hoping that because I look like shit otherwise, that if I wear this shirt, I'll look better. This is the shirt I wore to work today. But normally, because I have this Pornhub Funhouse shirt on, normally, I have everything buttoned up so people don't see it. But I like to make sure that I show to the people who matter, I show everything I can. That's why everyone in GoBicker has seen my dick. Ugh, gross. Anyway, welcome to this solo episode of the worst podcast on the internet. Not really, but kinda. Everyone is, I don't know, people, their schedules are shitty, and like 2 people are online right now. I don't know, I'm saying people, like you don't know who they are. Chris and Maya are online right now, but it's 10 o'clock their time, and I don't feel like trying to wrangle those cats. So I'm just gonna do this on my own, and I have some other shit I need to edit this week for school actually. So I don't have time to sit there and do the little multicam editing thing for a 2-hour podcast or whatever. So I have plenty of notes for them for whenever that happens, but in the meantime, I'm not gonna worry about it. And so normally the last couple times I think I've done 2 solo episodes so far in this channel, or just I guess in general. Normally I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna talk about. Oh, it's gonna be so hard. Blah 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 blah. But not this time. This time I planned ahead just a little bit, and I'm gonna be looking at the top of the past month on AskReddit. And I'm just gonna go through them and answer a bunch of them. This is definitely gonna be a shorter episode. How much shorter? I don't know. We'll see. You gain control of J.K. Rowling's Twitter account for a day. What unnecessary piece of information do you add to Harry Potter lore? In addition to just shitting on the floor, they also piss in each other's mouths. You are offered $1 million if you can hide a pair of car keys from the entirety of the FBI force for 7 days. Where do you hide the keys? So, do they know I hid them? And, do they know they're looking for them? Okay, we'll assume yes. We'll assume yes for both of those. Okay. I'm gonna go drive out somewhere. Like, living in Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes. We have 10,000 lakes. And so I'm gonna... Ooh, but shit, But would they know which lake I'm driving to? Because they could probably track me. See, here's the part of the issue with this question is we don't necessarily know the entirety of the powers of the FBI, which is why I don't trust the fucking government. Taxation is theft. So where am I gonna hide? Because my thought was go drive out to some lake, fucking just toss the keys in the lake. Oh, but I'll need a boat to get out there as well. Because yeah, if you just toss them off the shore, it's whatever, they're gonna find. But my thought being, it's gonna take them a hot minute to get some people together to search the entirety of a lake for just one set of keys. And lakes can get kind of deep and they can get kind of big, and so it would end up being. My hope is that it would be more work than it's worth, or more work than it's possible to do in 7 days. Is my thought. But yeah, if they could kind of GPS track me, I'm assuming. So instead, what I could do is, this one's hard. Yeah, and so it's $1 million if I can. So I have to assume I don't have money. I am just me as I am now with no money. What if I just mailed them? Like if they just kind of ended up in the mail somewhere, they're just a package. But obviously you label it wrong. But then at the same time, I don't know what kind of tracking goes on at the post office as well. Listen, I can't trick the FBI is what I'm learning. I'm not smart enough to come up with something on the spot. So we'll just assume I'm a failure with this, as I am with everything else in my life. Which conspiracy theory is so believable that it might be true? I don't know that many conspiracy theories, but the one thing I can say for sure is there's something up with JFK. I think we've actually talked about this before on this show. It's like I'm not sure exactly what it is, but when you watch the Zapruder, I'm not gonna be able to say that word, but the footage of him being shot. When you watch it, it's so weird. Like he does this whole thing where he sticks his elbows out and he's like holding his collar where he got shot to the fucking neck. Like nobody does that. It's weird. So yeah, I'm not buying that totally. Oh yeah, and then there's the whole weird thing about Jackie Kennedy jumping out, she's jumps onto the trunk a little bit for some. It's like they think that she was trying to grab bits of his brain or something. Ugh. So there's, if I knew more about conspiracy theories, I could answer this more thoroughly. But just from my layman point of view, something JFK. Actually, I just remembered one. There's a theory that they did fake the moon landing footage because they didn't actually land on the moon right then and there, but in order to not look like a bunch of pussies to Russia, they just they just made some shit up. But then soon after did actually go to the moon, because I definitely believe that we've been to the moon. I'm not one of those assholes, but I do wonder. It's like that seems plausible that they're like, listen, we can't go. We can go next week. We can't go today though. But we need the fucking show the world today. And they're like, all right, I got Stanley Kubrick on the phone or whoever. He'll shoot something for us. We'll show that to the Russians, and then next week we'll actually do it. Just so behind the scenes, we all know that we actually did it. Some of these are just like stories. And what were you ever that 1 in a million? If so, what's your story? Yeah, see, nothing funny there. What free software is so good you can't believe it's free? I'd say I actually, this isn't a funny answer, I guess, but a real question or a real answer I have to this question is Blender. Blender it seems like such a versatile tool. Oh fuck, is it versatile or versatile? That word. Either way, whatever it is, that's the word. It seems like such a handy tool that a ton of people seem to use it. I'm actually surprised that they don't charge anything for it. I mean, I'm sure I don't use Blender personally, but I'm sure there's like a paid version you can get. But that's one of these like pay if you wanna type of things, and so it's like you definitely don't need to. Multilinguals doesn't apply to me. What is something super important on the verge of happening? I'm about to kill myself. That seems important. Ladies, just like leggings can very easily attract a guy's attention, what is something guys wear that will attract your attention? Obviously, not a lady. Hopefully, obviously. I mean, well, I shouldn't say hopefully. I mean, anyway. But I do remember kind of looking at this when the post came out 25 days ago, apparently. Holy shit. And I know one thing I kept seeing was something about fucking rolled up sleeves, and they kept making jokes about like gray sweatpants or something. But either way, the post fucked me up though, because I'm like, oh, fucking rolled up sleeves. Oh, I should have I'm gonna keep my sleeves rolled up. That's now I roll up all my sleeves all the time. No, though I did already do that with my sweatshirts, and didn't have any luck, but that's probably because I look like this. So, what is the most hurtful thing a medical professional has ever said to you? Well, so for me, this is not something that I've experienced because I do that stereotypical guy thing where I just don't go to the doctor. I think I talked about this on the podcast as it was happening when I had like a whole toe thing where there was like literally like pus and blood coming out of the corner. I think it was like an ingrown nail on one of my big toes. It was gross, but I didn't do anything about it for a while. And what made me finally go was the fact that like the pain became unbearable. So I just like, I have to go or I'm going to fucking chop my toe off. And even at that point, I'd still have to go because then I need like stitches or whatever you do to a chopped off limb. Cauterize it, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, and then like, talk about all this therapy shit that we've done this year so far. Maya keeps telling me like, you need to go to fucking therapy. Real therapy, not therapy. But I'm like, yeah, I know. Cause cause I'm just, doing the dumb guy thing of just not dealing with any of my medical issues. And all this super depression and like anxiety and shit that I'm dealing with, and there's the fact that I'm so close to killing myself probably means I should go to the doctor or more specifically like a therapist. But am I gonna do it? Probably not, because I'm a piece of shit. Hey Reddit, what's the strangest coincidence you've personally experienced? Well, the story that came to my head that's not a coincidence, it's just like a funny thing that happened once, was that I was walking into this elementary school because during the summer they had free lunch every day. I was walking up to the door and this guy said, "Hey, are you Sammy or whoever?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Are you sure?" Like, yeah, I'm sure I'm not fucking Sammy. And I wasn't that aggressive about it. I'm like, yeah. And I just walked inside. But that's not a coincidence. It's just, and then the actual coincidence I can think of, and again, not that strange, is a couple episodes ago when it turns out that me and Kit both sit crisscross applesauce the same way, where we put the wrong leg over the other one. And I was just I was like, oh, look at that. What a coincidence. We're both fucking broken people. What can you not believe we still have to deal with in 2019? It blows my mind. I don't know if it's mentioned in this thread, because this is another one of these ones I read. It gets brought up all the time on Reddit. The fact that there are more slaves today than there were in the height of the transatlantic trade triangle thing. Like when you think of like the American slave trade, and you're like, holy shit, that was really bad. There's a lot of slaves. There are more today than there ever were then. That's fucking insane to me. And I mean, maybe this is just me in my little American bubble. I don't even know where. I mean, that means millions upon millions of modern day slaves, and I don't even know where in the world they are. That's fucked up. Like, you would think that would be one of these things that would be everyday news, but it's not. It gets brought up in fucking Reddit. What's the dumbest thing your significant other has said or done? Let's just skip this question, okay? Redditors with toddlers. Yep, no, can't do that. Oh, but what I can't, like, this is about toddler breakdowns. But what I can't, what the kind of the train of thought that put me on was that my cat is like the last 2 cats we've had, they've both been fine. The one that we had for like a decade or more, he was super chill, always just kind of laying around, very fat, not someone like Kit's cats. Kit's cats. Loved him to death. That was the best cat ever. And then when he died, because he was like liver or kidney failure or something in 2016, a few months later we got a new cat, and he was very much an outdoors cat. We had him for like a year and a half, let's say, and all the time outside. So again, you're not having any issues because you don't fucking see the cat. And then whenever he did come inside, he was exhausted from running around for 3 days straight or whatever, and so he would just sleep. And that cat, I think the theory we all have, or maybe it's just mine, is that a mouse ate some poison in like a garage or something, and then scurried off and died somewhere. And then my cat found the mouse and ate the mouse who had the poison, and then got poisoned and died. Fuck, that was fucked up. Because yeah, like my sister was walking from school, and it was like a bright sunny Thursday or some shit, and he was laying on our front steps, and his eyes were all like glassy and gray. And cats have like that third eyelid, and that was closing over, and he was just like limp. He wasn't dead though. He was just kind of like, dying, suffering. It was horrid. And so we brought him to the vet, and oof, yeah, not great. Which brings me to the point of that whole story. Our current cat is a kitten, and I fucking despise him. I've talked to him before on the show, but he started doing that fucking cat thing where he's very fucking bats shit off of things. And like the other day, I was taking a shit, and we have these little. Oh, I think if you're watching the video, like something like this, it's a little like spray thing, little scented spray. Concentrated room spray. And because when you take a big smelly shit, you gotta get rid of that smell. And it's sitting on this little side table, and I watched him jump up on the table, look me in the fucking eyes, and then just push it off. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? And then he's swatting it around, having a ball with it. And I can't do anything because there's shit literally coming out of me at that moment. And I'm just watching. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then a few minutes later, he comes over and he's like, oh, look at your fucking feet. And he starts chomping on those, and I'm trying to kick him off, and just, it's like, let me live, please. And, every once in a while trying to jump in the toilet. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And so he does that kind of shit. And earlier today, I went over there, and I went to the bathroom like I normally would, and I was washing my hands, and I was like, where? Or no, was gonna go wash my hands. And I was like, where is my little cup with, where I put my toothbrush and my razor and comb and all, all sorts of bathroom shit in there. And where the fuck is that? And I get to the sink, and yeah, sure enough, there it is. It's all spilled out into the sink. And because all this shit right now is in the basement, because I'm a cool guy living in my mom's basement, the washing machine, like, empty hose thing goes right into the sink. And so all this shit, and I also have this flossing stick thing. It's one of these things, it looks like a toothbrush except it doesn't have the bristles at the end. You have like a little like flossing thing on it. Anyway, so all this shit's laying in there, and it's wet because here and there throughout the day while I was at work and shit, the nasty like runoff from the washing machine was emptying into that sink all onto all of my shit. And I was just like, oh my god. And every once in a while, most of the time I remember to not leave my shit there, and I bring it back into my room with me because I don't let the cat in here. But I'll leave like the toothpaste in there. I actually don't know why, but I will. And it's been knocked into the sink so many times, it has like a griminess to the outside of it. It's really fucking gross. So I don't know. And I've already gone through like 2 or 3 toothbrushes the last couple weeks because they keep falling or getting falling. They keep getting knocked into shit, and sometimes literally like into the cat box, or sometimes figuratively like into whatever filth is in that sink. So that's just fucking great. So anyway, I hate that fucking cat. I can't wait till oh my god, I almost said something really horrible. I was about to say I can't wait till he fucking dies, and it's like that's not even totally true. I don't want him dead. I just want him not in my life fucking up my shit. What life-altering things should every human ideally get to experience at least once in their lives? So this is a sad question for me because I'm a sad boy, and I ignoring the fact that I haven't done anything with my life. It's like I can't even think of what the answer could be because I'm such a sad boy. I'm like, I mean, can you even really truly enjoy anything? Ugh, such a fucking dramatic fuck. I hate myself so much. What's that one product that is completely worth your money? I'd say a cell phone. I mean, yeah, there's all sorts of shit about like cell phone addiction and shit, but if you gotta keep that shit in check, just the amount of usefulness that a cell phone has, I mean, holy shit, yeah, definitely worth the money. I mean, assuming you get like a reasonably priced one. I mean, yeah, if you're going like a brand new iPhone or something, probably not worth the money. And like it's gonna work really well and all that shit, but like, is $1,000 really worth it? I don't know. But like, I just bought the OnePlus 6. It's getting here in a few days, and I'd say, I mean, my OnePlus 3 that I've had for 3 years now, I think. I bought that for about the same price as I bought the 6, or no, probably even a little less. And it's been just fine and dandy. And for quite a while, it had a really good battery. It charges really fast. Before I shattered it by accident, it had a really good camera. And now it still does have a good camera sometimes, but sometimes if the light catches the shadow, I wonder if I can show it. Yeah, look at that. It's all like shattered. So if the light catches that weird, it doesn't always get a good picture. But sometimes it does. Sometimes it gets a perfectly fine picture. So, which basic knowledge did you totally forget for a moment? I remember one time a light bulb burned out, and I was like, oh, fuck. Now we gotta replace the whole light. Like, the whole fixture. And I was like, that's a shame. That's a really nice little thing. It's like, you know, it's just like one of these like box light things where you have as like the long tube bulbs, and it fits perfectly above the kitchen sink. And I was like, oh, that's a shame. That was really nice. My parents are just like, well, just change the fucking bulb, dude. I'm like, oh, duh, idiot. What's your fuck this, I quit story? I think for me, every time I'm drawing, that's how I stop drawing. Like, I can be doing it for 30 minutes, 5 minutes, or fucking 10 hours. It doesn't matter. The reason I stop is always because I'm drawing something. I'm like, God, I'm the fucking worst. This is terrible. Fuck it, I quit. And I close the notebook, or I put the piece of paper away or whatever. I angrily put all my shit back in the little pencil holder, and I zip it up angrily. I'm drooling now because I'm pretending to be angry. What is a sensation that you can't stand, even though it's not painful? Oh, this goes back to my current favorite episode of this very show, episode 24, where we talked about wet willies. I fucking hate wet willies. And like I mentioned on that episode, it happened to me for a period of time, like a lot, and I don't know why. And it sucked, and I hated it. And I'm glad it hasn't happened to me in a long ass time, because again, I hate it. Fuck wet willies. If you were a bender and could manipulate one of the 4 elements, earth, water, air, fire, which one would you choose and why? Is that how it works? You don't choose. So it's like, I think I might want fire, but considering where I live, it would definitely be water. No, actually, I want air, but I definitely have water. Because like, with all these fucking lakes and shit, yeah, I'm a water bender. And actually, you know, even water in and of itself would be fucking cool. So just being a bender would be fucking cool, dude. I haven't seen that much of Avatar. I think I just watched the first season. I think that's all it was. Maybe a bit of the second one. But just the idea of all that shit, man. Fucking cool. What's the stupidest thing you've heard a person say out aloud in public? I remember once in high school, I heard a girl talking about, she couldn't remember what the whole, like, all that shit about like studying space and shit, and she kept talking about astrology, and I got like unreasonably mad about it, and I that, for whatever reason I said something. I was like, what? Astrology? It's astronomy. And I feel like that's not the stupidest thing. That's just the first thing that came to mind. Okay, I came up with a sad answer for this one. What's the most bullshit fact you can make up that sounds true? I'm feeling all right. What was the dumbest thing you ever did to try and impress a girl or guy? I know the last person I liked in 10th grade, so when I was 15, so it's like, what, like 5 or 6 years ago? Because I was 15-ish, okay? That's why I say 5 or 6. I'm not sure exactly when it was. I know I used to message her on Facebook a lot and, like, talk about my live streams or I was playing Minecraft. And so that's not like some big, dumb, grand gesture, but it's still kind of like, goo. No wonder that didn't work out. But also a couple things with that. Pretty sure she was a lesbian. She might be bi, but I'm pretty sure she's a lesbian. And also, she kept saying, like, because I would I'd say some dumb shit like, oh yeah, because I'd be streaming with her. Because every once in a while, for whatever reason, she'd be like, yeah, sure. And somebody in the chat would be like, oh, are you guys dating? And I'd be like, oh, I wish. Like a fucking idiot. Oh, I hate myself. I hate myself more than I do now, but I hate old me more than current me, but I still hate current me a lot. Fucking never mind. And at one point I remember saying something like, just fucking like ask me out then. And I was like, nah. You just say no. And it's like, you fucking idiot. She told you to ask her and you just said nah. What a fucking moron. It's every once in a while I'll be sitting here, I'd be like, man, oh man, I wish I wasn't single. But then it's like, I remember doing, like, so that was the last time in, however many years ago. And I'm like, well, for the most part anyway. But yeah, but then I'm like, but it's your own fucking fault. Like, it's like you've done this to yourself. So anyway, what have you seen genuinely shitty people do that they thought was perfectly acceptable? I think the most common thing you would see is people treating entry-level customer service type people like shit. It's like, like when I worked at Sears a few years ago, there was a very strict 30-day return policy that if you didn't get your shit back with the receipt in those 30 days, you were not allowed to return it. And sometimes people would be coming in like 60, 90 days later trying to return shit. And, I'm despite what I'm like on the internet, I'm not a piece of shit. Well, I'm a piece of shit, but I'm not outwardly a piece of shit to people. For the most part, unless they're a piece of shit to me first, which isn't a good way to do things, but whatever. And so people come in, they're trying to return their shit. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. I can't do this. I can't, there's no possible way for me to return this item for you. Get you your money back because we have this very strict 30-day return policy. And, and they start getting really mad at me. I'm like, bitch, the computer won't fucking let me. Even if I was like, fuck the system and tried to do it anyway, the computer's like, it's all fucking ones and zeros and it says no. And so it's not going to fucking happen. And they're like, oh, call a manager. So I'm like, all right, hey, I'm got a manager over here. And the manager comes over and they tell him the same shit. They're like, yeah, sorry, 30-day return policy. It's on your receipt. And then we had, there's these little plaques it was a piece of paper underneath like a plastic sheet that for whatever reason I decided to call it plaque just now. And on it was a very small print, all the store policies and all that shit about returning and everything. And then we were supposed to point them to that and be like, hey, look, it says right here. And unfortunately, every time I said that, people were like, how the fuck am I supposed to see that? And I'm like, I'm just going to put my hands up like, I don't know what to tell you. So, yeah, don't be a piece of shit to people who are, to your waiters, waitresses, cashiers, all that shit. Just quit being a dick in general. Actually, that's a good rule just in general. Quit being a dick. What's the one horror movie that genuinely terrified you while watching it? The Fourth Kind. I don't know why, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about this movie before, but The Fourth Kind, apparently a shitty movie, according to like IMDb and shit, but it's about like alien abductions and it's like paranormal encounters with aliens, sort of, which is weird. I don't know how that works exactly, but I watched that movie twice. Once with my cousin and aunt and that family when I was staying the night there, and then I wanted to show my mom and my sisters and shit, and so we watched it at home then, and both times I was like, "Gah, aliens are fucking scary, dude." And I think part of what was so scary about it was that like they had actors recreating shit, but then they would play it like alongside found footage type of shit. Like there was one bit where a car drove up to this house, or it was a cop car specifically, and he had the dash cam, and you could see in the window this guy who was having some sort of a freak out because of the aliens or whatever. You could see him shoot his wife and maybe his kid too. I don't remember, but he shot someone or some people in his family and then shot himself. And that shit was traumatizing because I was a wee lad, and that kind of shit fucks you up. And then all sorts of other like kind of jump scary type things. And so yeah, the fourth kind for sure. What hobby would you like to give a try but don't because of the expense? I mean, I guess in a way filmmaking, but in a lot of ways I don't feel like expense has a lot to do with that. It's more the fact that I'm alone. And doing shit, especially like filmmaking all on your own, is kind of hard, which is probably why I make all these YouTube videos. You know, why I do shit for GoBicker and why I did shit for so long on my own. And also, like, if I was more talented, like building shit, like crafts, like, oh dude, like fucking like cosplay armor and shit. Ugh. Like that's not too out of my price range, or probably if I wanted to make like one badass set of like Master Chief armor or some shit, I bet you that's in my price range. But there's also like a level of talent that I just don't have. Ooh, airsoft. That's another one too. Like getting to like proper like airsoft guns and like going and doing like matches and shit. That I think I've done it once with my really, really shitty guns with a couple friends, or with one friend and his friends. And it was really fun. There was only 4 of us total, but it was still fun. So like the idea of going out to like a full like battle or whatever and having like proper weapons and shit, that would be great. What character had the best character arc? I'm gonna say Jaime Lannister, because if you watch Game of Thrones, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Like in season 1, you're like, fuck this Prince Charming looking motherfucker. He's the worst. I hate him. He's fucking his sister. That's disgusting. He's just a overall total dickhead. And then you watch like this past season, and you're like, Jaime Lannister, man. What a guy. Love that boy. He's out here. He's doing his best. He's trying. And, you know, everyone has their mistakes, but you do what you can. He had his hand chopped off. He's gone through a lot. I feel bad for him. Which insanely popular or successful movie you secretly hate, but are afraid to say if in the open, fearing backlash from quote-unquote fans? I can think of 2. I really didn't like Jurassic World, but it made a quadrillion dollars, and for whatever reason, people seem to really enjoy it. I don't know why. I thought it was horrid. And the other one is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I was okay with it at first, but as I've kind of like sat on it and thought about here and there every once in a while, and that's a big part of it, every once in a while, since it came out however many years ago now, it's such a disappointment. Like they have this cool setting of isn't it like 1920s New York or some shit, and it's fucking boring. That's the thing. Like you get this whole fucking world. You get like the Wizarding World shit and all of that magic, and you get 1920s fucking New York, and it's boring? Are you kidding me? And then I've heard the sequel is really dog shit too. I don't know about the Jurassic World sequel because I didn't give a shit to even pay attention when it came out. Ooh boy, this one's interesting. What's a non-sexual moment equivalent of an orgasm? I mean, cleaning out your ears with a Q-tip. When you get it in there just perfectly, and your eyes kind of closing, and you're like, okay, and it's not quite orgasmic, but it is really satisfying if you're making over easy eggs and they're clean. You know, you crack the egg, you let them cook on the one side, and then you get the spatula under it just right, and you flip it, and everything is just clean. It just fucking works. I've only had it like 3 times in my whole fucking life, but it's really nice. Which historical figure would be the most obnoxious Instagram influencer? I mean, Hitler, right? Like he basically rose to power with a big social movement. And so if he had social media to help his social movement, oh my God. I mean, he'd basically be like even more racist as Trump, wouldn't he? What? What is something your partner has done during sex that completely ruined it for you? Sometimes my hand kind of hurts. As a teenage boy in middle school or high school, what confused you the most about teenage girls? Why none of them liked me? No. That's actually the thing. I was never that confused. I was like, there was things I didn't know, but once they were told to me, I was like, all right. I think maybe the spookiest one is the boob time thing that like pretty much girls always know when you're looking at their boobs, because I learned that in like 10th or 11th grade, and at that point you've been staring at tits for a long time, and then to learn that information kind of late on is like, oh fuck, because there were times where I was definitely just like just staring at them. But yeah, no, nothing was that confusing. Oh well, I guess there's the whole bathroom thing. It's like they go in herds. That's how my fucking dad would word it. They go in groups. I don't necessarily understand that. Cause I think bathrooms should all be like single person bathrooms. Ooh, what you could do is you just have like, basically you open the door and there's like a hallway, and then there's just a bunch of little bathrooms along the way, and then you don't have to worry about this whole gender bullshit, right? Cause just doesn't matter who you are, you just fucking walk on in, you go into your own little personal stall, door is complete, floor to ceiling door, locks properly. But anyway, I don't know why girls go to the bathroom in big groups. I don't like anyone else being even like outside the bathroom when I'm in there, let alone in the bathroom with me. That's all I can think about as far as being confused. But that's not even like a teenage boy, middle school, high school thing. That's just true always. You are part of the FBI. How would you wreck the shit out of the Redditors trying to hide a key from you? Oh, okay. I mean, I guess that question assumes you've read the other thread that we talked about earlier. I mean, I think just what the main thing you're going to be doing, you're going to be tracking people's GPS shit. Yeah, because that's the big thing. You're probably going to be just looking at their phone. Where is their phone going? And you're going to have a team checking every single place they go. Well, actually, wait, if you're part of the FBI and you know where they are, can't you just like raid them immediately and like arrest them and grab the keys? I guess that's what I would do. It'd be like, all right, you have 7 days, and I'm like, okay, get that guy right now, and then you can go grab him, grab the keys. Unless the idea is that okay, so now we're going back to the other question. Is the idea then that you hide the keys and then they have 7 days to find them? Because if that's the case, then yes, I am going to a very deep lake and just fucking tossing them in. And I'm leaving all sorts of phones and everything back home. But even still, there's probably still something that they're tracking. Unless I grab like a canoe, but they're still probably going to be able to track the car. So I'll take a bike with a canoe on my back. I don't know. This is difficult. That will about do it for me this week. Remember, this is the loneliest podcast on the internet. Not really, but kinda. Remember, you can go to patreon.com/GoBicker. At even the $1 level, you can watch shit like this early. So early, in fact, that except for this episode, normally you can watch it live. And then, of course, go to GoBicker.com/shop or store. That's GoBicker.com/shop or GoBicker.com/store, in case you were confused. Where we have things like t-shirts, mugs, stickers, and more with all your favorite designs. Now, we were gonna record the podcast last night, and I was already wearing my GoBicker t-shirt, and then it never happened. And I was kind of talking shit about my GoBicker t-shirt last episode, and yeah, the print could use some work, but it's still a good shirt. It's really fucking soft, and like I was saying too, it fits, which I really appreciate. So, would recommend, even still. I don't know what Chris's unhappy hour shirt is like, but I think he has a picture on his Twitter. But I don't know his opinions because he fucked off. Because he's terrible. And I hate him. Just kidding. Not really, but kinda. We're only a few episodes away now from beating the Brewcast, which is, if you're unaware with our history, is the podcast that me and Chris did before GoBicker even existed or was even a thought. So yeah, this is episode 35, and we went up to episode 38. So we're getting there. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching again. See you next time with more people. Bye.